Today on V8 Extra, it was a truly great race. The Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000 of 2011 had it all. We'll cross to Melbourne and chat with this year's champions Garth Tander and Nick Percat from the Toll Holden Racing Team and discuss their impressive win. Runner-up Mark Skaife joins us in the studio for his point of view from the driver's seat. And this shocking incident made headlines around the world. So we'll also cross to the Gold Coast and check in with Mark Larkham at Jim Beam Racing for a progress report on the repairs to Steve Johnson's Falcon. All that and more today on a very big edition of V8 Extra.
Hi again everybody, welcome to V8 Extra. Have we got a jam-packed show for you today? Our review edition of V8 Extra for the Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000. And so much going on last weekend. 28 wins for Holden, 200th win for the Toll Holden Racing Team. And Skaife's been a part of that. He joins me once again. Skaife, it was an incredible race. You missed out, but what an amazing stoush.
Oh, man, it was, Crompton, one of the greatest races we've ever seen up there. And, you know, for the grand final of Australian motorsport, for it to come down to that sort of finish, I mean, it will go down in history as one of the great races. Lots
of stuff for you and I to talk about, but let's first of all just tick off things from the Team Vodafone perspective and you. 25 Bathurst starts for you. It's been an extraordinary innings. 4 starts with these guys in the recent past for 3 wins in a second. You missed out by 0.29 at the end. How frustrating. You didn't lead any laps and that whole queuing thing burnt you guys badly.
Yeah, look, it did knock us around. It's one of those things where if you park behind the other car in pit lane, and Jamie also, when his car stopped, Craig got caught behind with Winterbottom at that stage, so he lost a big chunk of time there. So those couple of things really, at that point, we had no way of coming back, and we ended up back too far. And when you're back in the field, you know what it's like. They play for keeps down there, Cropper.
You and your mate have now celebrated 10 podiums, though, Mr. Lowndes and Mr. Skaife, so congratulations. Let's have a look at the championship points now, because there's just 100 points between Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup. And for the first time in 5 years, Lowndes is now winning the championship once again, leading the series, Skaife. Jamie did finish, and it was important to grab points, although he was down in 21st, but have a go at this battle down the order. Oh,
no doubt. The biggest thing, 192-point turnaround between Lowndes and Whincup, so Lowndes now with a 100-point lead. And then between 3rd and 7th, have a look at this, 274 points between Van Gisbergen and Will Davison.
And look at these images here, Skaife. This is like our brains the morning after a race meeting. It's all foggy inside and outside. Mount Panorama on Thursday and Friday, it was wet, it was foggy, it was windy. The first 2 sessions were interrupted and it was all kinds of varied conditions. We lost the 3rd session, and even qualifying on Saturday and the shootout was weather affected again. Oh, no doubt. I've never seen it, have you? In all the years, I've never seen weather play such a big part in the lead-up. And by the time we got to the start of the race in the dry, not many people had done dry laps. And therefore, there were mistakes. Jamie Whincup, he rattled down the wall in the Team Vodafone car. I couldn't believe they turned this thing around and it was quick again in the afternoon. Jason Bargwana, he had an engine failure and then ultimately tossed his thing in the wall, trying to basically do the high jump with no run-up. We also had Greg Murphy and Fabian Coulthard. How's the moments for them on the run to McPhillamy? Seriously. Well,
the Murphy one was a big one. It almost made the fence, but the other bloke did make the fence. He actually gyrated. I mean, I could not turn the thing around there and knock every corner out of it.
Unbelievable.
Turned it around, back on the fence and drove on.
And in the final analysis, it was Garth Tander who took the provisional pole in the afternoon on Friday, and it was a very nice lap.
It certainly was. It was a very good job.
Yeah, all right, so we've got a lot to talk about, as I said. Stay with us on Extra today. Very shortly, we're crossing down to Melbourne, where we'll catch up with Garth Tander and Nick Percat, the victors of the 2011 Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000. As we go to the break, we're going to go back in time and take a look at another beautiful lap in the shootout from Greg Murphy, and, of course, all the weirdness with the weather. Stay with us.
What has Greg Murphy got in 2011 in car 11? So here comes Murph again. He is flying.
Flies are up on 2 wheels in 2nd gear.
Talk about bringing back the old times. Greg Murphy is doing it again here in the top 10 shootout at Bathurst. Jamie is headed out, and it started to rain quite heavily.
Yeah, it's game over. There you go. Well done, Greg Murphy.
Going in, Nick Percat.
No, lock. He doesn't need to lock a brake right at that point. This is the last lap of the race. Unbelievable.
This is the year of the rookie and the pro. Tander and Nick champions.
Yes, it was the greatest of great races. Welcome back to V8 Extra. What we want to do now is cross down to the Holden Racing Team workshops at Clayton in Melbourne, where a couple of very happy guys are standing by. I'm sure it's been an extremely busy week, and in fact said on radio, Skaife and I this morning to Garth Tander, what a year. You've got a new babes come along, you've also extended your deal, and you've won your third Bathurst. Congratulations, boys.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, it was an amazing day, obviously, and young fella did a fantastic job all day. Just that one small scrape on the wall, but yeah, look, it was great to get out on top at the end of the day.
And what about you, Nick? I mean, you're a rookie. You're the first bloke to win it as a rookie since Jackie X back in 1977. You're only the third rookie to do it. You must be pinching yourself.
I know, it's just a bit out of control. I wake up every morning and find another picture of it somewhere, and it's just like, yep, that actually did happen. So it's pretty amazing. It's just a credit to Garth and the whole of HRT to have faith in me, and we've delivered, and I think it's quite a few people.
Nick, Mark Skaife, obviously it was a great experience for you and a fantastic effort, mate. I mean, a great win. But that moment at turn 2 would have been a big one for you. As soon as it got wide, you just can't get the car back, can you?
No, exactly. When I saw Craig coming in, I didn't think it was an issue because I'd run 2 by 2 through there with the DBS car, and went in there and I was like, oh, it's okay. And then it got the marbles. I was like, oh, this is not okay. So when I felt the back go, just tried to make the impact on the front as light as possible, was however you do that, and managed to get away with it, thank God.
Hey Garth, some of the stuff at the end was just amazing. It was an incredible pressure motor race. You had that moment where you locked up going into the chase and lost a couple of critical seconds, and we saw that rear shot that we replayed where the car was really tracking under brakes. Now that the boys have got the car back in the shop, and I'm assuming they've had a chance to do a set down, was there any steering damage or any carryover damage from any of the incidents earlier in the day?
No, it doesn't look like there was anything out of alignment. I think the steering rack maybe took a little whack when Nick was trying to do a wheel alignment with the wall. But yeah, I just caught, on the lock-up, I just caught the edge of that oil that was down at the chase. And every lap you're trying to creep over a bit more and a bit more to get back on the racing line. And I just took too much of the oil and locked up. And I got off the brake straight away because I obviously want to flat spot a tyre. And then just ran wide. So it cost us 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, which in the end would have been a much more comfortable breathing gap if I had that for the last lap than the 2/10 or 3/10, whatever it was when we crossed the line. But we got away with it. All you got to do is get over the line first, and we did that. So it was great to race with Lowndesy at the end of the race the way we did. It was, you know, it was obviously a heavy battle. He was pretty keen to win, and we were very keen to win. So, you know, it was great to have that battle. And for us to come out on top, it was pretty special, given that it was HRT's 200th win and the first win since Tom's passing. So, you know, it was pretty special to be able to dedicate it to him.
GT, I made the comment at the press conference about you positioning the car so well. You had to be so accurate in those last couple of laps because the rear tyres on your car were really struggling. Yeah,
they were, and it was difficult to be accurate because, you know, the rear of the car was moving around a lot, and then when Lowndesy got that run on me out of the karting up to where the old tree used to be, I thought, oh, this is going to be on, because normally you can't pass into here, and I was ready to go too wide if we needed to. So, yeah, look, it was hard work, but I knew that our car was actually slightly better through Reed Park and McPhillamy Park, and if I could get through there well and then brake as deep as I could for Skyline, he wouldn't be able to have a run at me at Forest Elbow, and if I could get out of the elbow well, that meant that I wouldn't have to defend too much down Conrod. So we managed to get away with all that, but I don't reckon we'll be using those tyres again this year, Skaife.
Just quickly, boys, we're nearly out of time. Nick, how's your world changed in the last couple of days? And I also want to make this a double-barrel question because I understand that your family's got extraordinary ties through the whole Holden family over the years.
Yeah, well, my world's changed a little bit. I've got about 1,000 more friends, apparently. It's crazy how it happens, Neil, but yeah, my family actually, I kind of forgot, but apparently, well, I know my dad worked for Holden in Adelaide, and then his dad and his dad. So it's about 60 years we've been involved with Holden, and then to win at the biggest event for him is just unbelievable. It's a bit of a fairy tale.
Well, congratulations once again, boys. It was an extraordinary effort. It was an incredible motor race, and it was tough for my buddy here on the left for he and Craig not to get up. I said in the telecast, all 4 of you did an amazing job. It's a shame there has to be one winner in the end, but please enjoy it. We'll look forward to seeing you next week on the Gold Coast.
Thanks very much,
Excellent.
guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, boys. And on the subject, Skaife, Seven and the Holden Racing team have got this very special commemorative lithograph to provide for everybody. There's only 200 of these as a result of the 200 wins. You're in there somewhere as a part of the Holden Racing team history. There's also a little slice of Garth Tander's suit. If you want more details on that one, sevenshop.com.au. Coming up shortly, we're going to jump across to Queensland where Mark Larkham is standing by, and we'll find out how things are progressing at Jim Beam Racing after the terrible incident up at Turn 2. Stay with us on XTRA.
Turn 2. David Bernard's actually in the cards, not Stephen Johnson. And this is a very big incident at Turn 2. He's backed it into the wall.
Driver's side door is open. David Bernard jumping out of the car. He gets out. Fire has been put out.
Shocking images. Turn 2, as I said there in the commentary from last weekend, and that incident went all around Australia on our news services, all around the world indeed. It's the kind of thing that we don't want to see. Now, keep in mind that next weekend is the Armour All Gold Coast 600 and there's a test day next Wednesday. So the team currently scrambling. It's frantic there at the moment trying to get that car repaired or indeed get another car out on the road. To bring us up to date with all the latest, he's standing by up there in Queensland at the moment. Welcome Mark Larkham and Stevie Johnson. And Larko, that was a horrible incident. We hate seeing stuff like that.
Mate, I think it's going to be one of those bits of vision we're going to see a lot from Bathurst. But I guess the obvious question we've got to ask Stevie is, how's David Besnard?
Dave's good. He's obviously, he took a pretty hard hit, so got a bit of a sore neck, as you would expect, a bit of whip. But in general, obviously a little bit of hurt pride. I think he got a bit of fire extinguisher foam in the face and in the eyes from obviously the fire marshals, who did a great job too to put the fire out quickly. So all in all, he's fine.
Boys, Skaife here. Mate, Stevie, you didn't deserve a result like that. Obviously, it was a good clawback through the run to get back to being somewhere respectable and obviously a massive incident. Can you give us a bit of a rundown in a detailed sense as what the real damage was in and around the garage?
Yeah, sure. Looking at the back of the car, a lot of this stuff looks pretty bad. It's actually superficial. It's actually quite thin material, so parcel shelf, all this sort of stuff will get pretty much cut off, replaced with new parcel shelf, repainted. It's all tacked on and things, so no problem there. General structure of the car seems pretty good. We won't know until we actually get it onto the jig to make sure that everything's straight, suspension points, shock points are straight. There's a little bit of kinking in the floor here, which we've had before, which shouldn't be a problem, but all in all, if I went back and I guess compared it to the crash from the AGP that we had, I think it's probably less damage at this stage.
That's good to hear, isn't it? Hey, Skaife, while I got you here, we're talking car parts. Let's try and have a bit of a quick dissect of what happened here. This is your fuel filler, if you like, that comes out to the side of the car. And I reckon what's happened, when they've hit the wall there and it's peeled the side of the car off, I'd say it's probably pulled this. And look at this. You can see there, that's pulled the bag, ripped the bag. Dickie Johnson tells me that this still had it was half full of fuel, even after those boys put the fire out. So again, well done. Hey, Stevie, let's go for a quick walk over here. This really impresses me. Look at this laid out on the floor here. This car needs a whole set of everything, front to rear, side to side, top to bottom, the works.
It does, yeah, Larko. It's something that I guess, we carry spares of anyway. So this is pretty much what makes up the car. This is the easy stuff. They bolt it on and it looks like a car at the end, but there's a lot of work to be done between now and then.
You're right, mate. That is the easy stuff. Now, let's have a quick look at how this actually happened. Now, when the boys came in, Dave, they did a pad change. Now, when they do a pad change in the V8 supercars, they use these special pliers. And what they do, well, you actually might have seen, Neil did actually a little CAD drawing during the telecast, and this is the real bit. So you squeeze those pads, and look at the pistons in there. They go way, way back in. they pull the pads out, they put a new set in, and then it's the driver's job when he leaves pit lane to actually pump that pedal up to push the pads back to make a mating surface with the disc again. Very easy mistake to make, really, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this gap here is probably 2.5 times the size of an actual thickness of a brake disc, so there's a fair bit there that needs to be taken up, I guess, air gap. And what can happen is if you don't pump it out properly, one side can come out, the other side's not quite out. So when you do put all that pressure on the brakes at the next corner, there's obviously an air gap in one side. You get a lot of rear brakes because the rear brakes are still in and they're still fine. And that's when you saw David actually spin, lock the rears, spin, and end up into the tyre wall.
And even in our days, boys, you might recall, you know, we had not so much of a speed limit, so you'd tear out of the pit lane and you'd actually use the brakes before you got there, so that might have saved the day.
Great explanation, Larko. But listen, one of the things that we've been puzzling about all week, and no one's been able to come up with an answer, how on earth did the fire get started?
Well, we're still scratching our heads over that because there was really no hot bits out the side there. So what we're going to do, Steve, I'd like to ask if anyone was there and saw, was Johnny on the spot, we're really keen, email into V8 Extra, we're really keen to know what actually ignited that fire because it was 9 seconds before it got to the car.
Well, thanks for that, boys. Really appreciate the update. Hope everything works out for next weekend. Skaife, while we're talking about next weekend, let's have a look at the entry list because it is an all-star cast on the Gold Coast.
It certainly is, and the big thing about it, Crompo, is that not only are they from Le Mans, F1, World Touring Car Championship, wherever they've, you know, IndyCar, wherever they've raced, obviously it's a really great group of drivers. There was only 18 last year, there's 28 this year, so every car's got an international. All
right, well, David Bernard wasn't the only fella to have a tough run last weekend. We'll go to the break, have a look at some of the trauma that we saw on Mount Panorama. We'll come back and wrap up with more after this.
Big crunch and it's on the wall. And hard.
Luke Gill, he went straight off and straight into the wall. Going to rotate this. So everybody's doing the same thing down there. So, oh, here we go, trouble at the top with Forrest Elbow, and round goes John McIntyre.
Problem with car 88.
I'm guessing this is battery voltage, not fuel.
It's been a flat-out show today. Our little throttle's been 100%, and our tongues have been in qualifying mode, Skaife. But while you were scorching around last weekend, the 2012 calendar was released, and it starts, which I think is fantastic, at Clipsal.
Oh, look, I think it's fantastic. To bookend the series with Clipsal and Sydney is a fantastic thing for the series. So to start it in Australia, to also have the Sandown 500 back as the traditional pre-Bathurst race, and for the Abu Dhabi race to be with Formula One is actually a good thing, I think.
And all the details online if you want to have a look at the new calendar. Now let's move on to Big Pond Sport email, and a question mark that went over my head last weekend as well here from Paul Myers about the closest finish. What about 77 with the Moffat Ford dealer team and 84 with the HDT? Surely they were close. Well, no. In terms of racing finishes, that was the best last weekend, Paul. 0.29 of a second. The last racing finish, underlined because there is a difference, was Craig Lowndes and Rick Kelly back in 2006. Craig's been pretty good at that over the years, hasn't he?
Yes, hasn't he?
Sneaking in with these really close finishes. Now, you remember when we were young.
Yes.
It's a fair while ago, I might mention. And we've been promoting the notion on the program that Trading Post Racing have been giving an apprentice an amazing opportunity to be a part of the V8 supercar business. And so en route to last weekend's Bathurst 1000, the team manager for Ford Performance Racing, Chris O'Toole, dropped into Shepparton where, as you can see, one young bloke was very lucky to get this.
Yeah, as far as I knew, I was just having a follow-up interview from Phillip Island, just seeing how I was going after the whole weekend. And out of nowhere, Chris O'Toole and Andrew just popped up and pronounced me as the winner, and yeah, it shocked me.
So Josh Williams there, he's going to get a chance to work in the V8 supercar business, part of a national competition. A fantastic opportunity to finish his mechanical apprenticeship in 2012. Absolutely awesome. Speaking of awesome, Skaife, now how about this? You and I might go and do a Thelma and Louise here if we can get our hands up high enough and win this prize, because Shannon's Insurance are giving you the chance to win a 21-day fully escorted tour for two on the legendary Route 66.
would you take the Harley Davidson or the Mustang?
I'll go on the bike. You want to jump on the back? There's a frightening concept to enter. All you got to do is get a quote for your car, bike or home. All you got to do is call Shannon's 13 46 46, or you can jump on the website shannons.com.au. We're just about out of time for another week. Skaife, Armour All Gold Coast 600. It's big. It's next weekend.
It's the party of the year, isn't it?
Party of the year. I think you and I would like to do a bit of partying, but we've got to work. But the coverage is going to be on 7 Saturday and Sunday. Thanks for your help today.
Thanks, mate.
Really appreciate it. Once again, fantastic job. Beautiful drive last weekend. P2, this bloke missed out by a tiny margin. And it'll be on for young and old again next weekend. Then the following weekend, we're going to wrap it up here on V8 Extra. Special time on Sunday morning at 10:30. We'll leave you today with the last word from Darrell Waltrip. The 3-time NASCAR champion went for a blaze with Jason Bright. See you next week. Bye for now.
We're off and we're rolling. That is not possible. That is impossible. That can't be done. Just lost my lunch. I didn't even have any. This is a geological oddity. This right here is what's crazy. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. I have never been on a ride like this in my life. Oh boy, hang on, Jason. Can't even see where we're going and he ain't slowing down. Oh my gosh. Oh no, the dipper. The old dipper. Oh, I'm dying. We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Not the corkscrew. Oh, mercy. No, Jason, no, easy, Jason. It's hell corner. It's hell corner. Not hell corner. Not this part. I hate the corkscrew. The corkscrew is dumb. We put this on the race. You can't race on a track like this. Undamn believable.